What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome back to the Dapper Sniper Gaming channel, and welcome back to How Do I Want to Do This. This is our series where we take a look at all playable options available to players in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, then we rank them on a scale of 1 to 10 and either build them or fix them depending on how they rank. Now today we finish up our talks on the Life Cleric, the healer of all healers, the most cleric of all clerics, and I am excited to build one together. But before we do, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, share the video with your friends, and click the bell so you're notified when new videos are uploaded. The Life Cleric, of course, is your main healer, right? This is going to be the one that focuses on healing your party and making sure that everybody is doing all right, is making sure that they are very healthy and staying in the fight, which is a lot of fun. We, of course, ranked this, of course, last week when we talked about it. We took a bit of a week off out of nowhere. Switch 2 came out, and that's been a whole thing. But basically, yeah, we're back, and we're gonna be talking about that today. So I'm looking forward to jumping right in. Starting off, as always, we have our species slash race slash whatever it is you want to call it, and we are going to go with one we have used quite a bit already in 2024, and this probably is not coming as a surprise to pretty much anybody, just because this has just been a real standout. I'm surprised that there aren't just full parties taking this, because it's just that good. It's the Aasimar, however you want to pronounce that. Yeah, it's just so good, right? It comes with so many features. You've got Celestial Resistance, so that gives you a couple resistances, which is nice. Dark Vision, Healing Hands, Light Bearers, and your Celestial Revelation in a couple levels, and it's just so good, right? Healing Hands, of course, gives us another option for healing without using spells or spell slots, which is really nice. Our Celestial Revelation, while it's not the most amazing thing on this build, that fear effect is still nice to be able to get people off of you, and so there's definitely use for that. Flight is, of course, really great as well, so there's a lot to love with this one. For our stats, of course, we're going with a normal point buy option, and if you are doing something different, yours might look a little bit different. Just adjust accordingly. We're going to take a 12 in our strength. We're going to take a 14 in dexterity. We're going to take a 15 in constitution at our +2 there, a 15 in wisdom, +1 there, and then we're going to dump intelligence and charisma. If you would rather have higher intelligence or charisma, by all means move the strength score. It really doesn't matter on this build particularly. For our background, we are going to go with one that we have not taken just yet on the channel, but I think we're going to be taking quite a lot as a cleric, and that is going to be the hermit. Now, of course, if you are allowed to use the old versions of all of these backgrounds and just kind of customize it how you want, by all means do that. But as far as what's in the book, hermit is going to be our best option here. It gives us the healer feat right off the bat, which is great. Of course, this is going to buff our heals. It's a little bit better than what it used to be back in 2014, which is really cool. It's nothing broken, it's nothing busted, but it is a nice little potential buff. It's not bad. It's not bad. And of all the different feats that we could get outside of possibly grabbing the magic initiate from Druid, that's really the only other one that I'm kind of looking at here, but healer is going to be my top option there. We're going to grab medicine and religion as 2 of our proficiencies, as well as proficiency with an herbalism kit. Like I said, if you can customize your background, do that. That's always going to be better than just what's baked into the book. If you have to use what's baked in, this is what I'm doing. For our equipment, I'm going to take some medium armor and holy symbol, and that's really about it. We've got a lot of customization options, and I'm opting for one route that you can go with this. There are many different routes that you can build now with your clerics, which is what makes them so cool. I, of course, talked about all those options back when I ranked the cleric class for 2024, and that is up in the iCard above for you to check out right there. So let's go ahead and start taking some levels. I actually am not going to be doing any multi-classing this week. I think straight cleric is the way to go with Life Cleric. You just want to scale your spell slots as quickly as possible, and you want to just get better and better healing spells, and we are just going to get those like crazy throughout this build. So I don't see the need to go anywhere else. At Cleric 1, we are going to get our spellcasting and our Divine Order. Of course, Divine Order is very different from what we used to get here at level 1, which was a subclass. That's not a thing anymore, so You now get two options. You basically get to choose between being the frontline fighter and getting some armor and that kind of thing, or you get to choose what we are taking this week, the Thaumaturge option, which is going to give us one extra cantrip as well as adding our wisdom modifier to Arcana and religion checks. Definitely really cool and better for somebody that is more focused on the healing aspect, so that is what we are going to do this time around. Of course, for our spell casting, we get several cantrips that we can choose from, and my top options are going to be things like Guidance, Sacred Flame, Toll the Dead, and Spare the Dying for this one. Spare the Dying is nothing broken or busted, but it makes a lot of sense on a Life Cleric, so that's why I would suggest it here. For first level spells, Healing Word is really the only one I'm really wanting at the moment. You probably will want to take Cure Wounds and Bless for now, but we're going to get those always prepared once we hit level 3. So take them for now, then we will have them always later, and then you can swap them out for something else. But at least for now, take them. We won't need them for very long. For Cleric 2, we get our Channel Divinity, which is cool, and it has also been shaken up just a little bit. And so we get a new option that allows us to buff people as well. We also get the Turn Undead type of thing, both of which can be useful. Turn Undead, of course, is far more situational than, of course, the new option that we got in the new book. At Cleric 3, we are going to get our subclass, and we get Disciple of Life and Preserve Life on top of our expanded spell list. So, of course, we're going to get a feature, and we're going to get a feature that goes with our Channel Divinity. So we get to buff our heals, which is great, and Preserve Life, of course, allows us to do a little bit of a burst heal, which is also really good. Again, I went into a lot of detail in my previous video, which I believe I've already linked at some point in this video. For second level spells, which we get here, we're going to pick up Aid and Lesser Restoration for free. Again, Cure Wounds and Bless also come online here, always prepared for us, which is great. And I would also consider taking something like Enhance Ability and Spiritual Weapon. Now, Spiritual Weapon is probably not my top choice on this cleric specifically, just because we are more focused on healing and that kind of thing. Spiritual Weapon is going to be taking up our concentration now. Yes, that's one rough thing that happened in 2024 that no one is happy about, but here we are. Spiritual Weapon takes concentration now. So to me, I would rather be concentrating on something like Bless on something like this than Spiritual Weapon, but that's just me. I'm sure you will find a situation where you could swap that out for something else, but just so you're aware, I would probably rather have Bless up than Spiritual Weapon most of the time on a build like this. At Cleric 4, we're going to get our first general feat, and I'm going to go with one that I think is pretty standard for something like this, and that's Inspiring Leader. Now, Inspiring Leader is a really good feat. It's always been a good feat. It often gets overlooked, honestly, but it's really good, right? The combination between Aid and this are both really cool, because Aid is not temp HP. Aid is raising your actual HP maximum, then Inspiring Leader is giving temp HP. Really cool, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. Makes your allies really hard to take down, at least at the start of the day, and so that can help you to last a lot longer, which is really good. It also gives us a boost of +1 to our wisdom, and you might be thinking, Dapper, you had a 16 for your wisdom, now that's 17, now it's odd. I got it. Don't worry. We'll fix it here in a little bit. Cleric 5, we get Seer Undead, which is our new upgrade instead of the old version where it was based on CR and all this other stuff. And bleh. Now it's Seer Undead. We can deal a bunch of damage, which is pretty cool. And we also get third level spells at this point, which I'm going to get Mass Healing Word and Revivify for free. I would also grab things like Dispel Magic, Spirit Guardians, and Aura of Vitality. Before we go any further, I want to say a huge shout out and thank you to my channel members. All of you are amazing for supporting me through all of these videos, helping me to be able to make all of these videos. Of course, anybody who clicks that join button down below at any tier is going to get access to all of my build guide write-ups for this one, for any of the other ones that I've done for 2024, 2014. I've got some homebrew stuff on there for you to use. All of it's on there for you, so make sure to check that out by clicking that join button down below. And of course, silver and gold tiers come with some other perks as well, but like I said, you get access to all the guides and everything at the bronze tier, so feel free to check that out, and thank you for watching even if you are not a member. Moving on to Cleric 6, we are going to get Blessed Healer, which is, again, pretty cool. Most of the features that you're seeing on this subclass are really similar to their 2014 counterparts, and Blessed Healer is no exception. You cast a leveled spell, you heal some, right? That kind of thing. It's pretty basic, but still very effective, keeps you alive. Cleric 7, of course, gives us our Blessed Strikes, and this is another big change to the Cleric coming into 2024. Of course, before at Cleric 8, you would either get the Potent Spell Casting, or you'd be able to add a bunch of damage to your weapon attacks and that kind of thing. We're going to go with Potent Spellcasting this time, but now every cleric gets to choose between each one, which is really cool. So I like that a lot. We're going with Potent Spellcasting. Really great option there. 4th level spells gives us Aura of Life and Death Ward for free, and I would also pack Banishment just in case. Cleric 8 gives us our next general feat, and I'm going to take Warcaster, surprising probably absolutely no one. This is going to make our wisdom a little bit higher, but it's also going to allow us to maintain that concentration just a little bit easier. We also can now cast one of those potent cantrips that we just got for our opportunity attack, which is really good as well. So really good combo there, and that's going to shore up that odd numbered wisdom score. At Cleric 9, we get no features, but we do get 5th level spells. We get Greater Restoration and Mass Cure Wounds for free, which is great, as well as things like Raise Dead, Scrying, and Summon Celestial as my top options here. Summon Celestial being mainly just because we are an Aasimar, but either way, it's flavorful more so than powerful, but still not a bad spell there at all. Cleric 10, we get Divine Intervention, which has been completely changed from the old version, which was just roll a D100 and hope that you get it right, because most of the time you're not. But now it's much better, letting us borrow spells that we may not even know at the moment and just cast them, which is really good. Very cool. At Cleric 11, we get no features, but we do get 6th level spells. Harm and Heal are going to be my main ones there. I don't see a reason why those would not be the top options. There, of course, are a couple others that might be okay, but those are going to be my top 2. For Cleric 12, we get another general feat, and I'm going to just bump my wisdom at this point. There's no reason to not do that. Having a maxed out wisdom, of course, gives us the best bonus to hit with some of our attacks, as well as having a spell saving throw DC being higher, which is a little more so what we want there. I like that a lot there. Cleric 13, we get no features, but we do get 7th level spells. I'm going to grab things like Firestorm, and then for our Life Cleric-y things, Power Word Fortify, Regenerate, and Resurrection all make a lot of sense there. Cleric 14, we get our improved Blessed Strikes, which is great. Just improves our potent spell casting for now, or it would have improved our extra damage on melee attacks if we had taken that, but that's not what we did. Cleric 15, no features, but we do get 8th level spells. Earthquake and Holy Aura, I guess. Holy Aura probably a little bit lower on the list, but still not the worst. We get Cleric 16, and I'm going to just take Resilient Constitution. We had that 17 Constitution this whole time, just sitting there. Had to shore it up here at the end and give ourselves proficiency with those Constitution saving throws to go along with our advantage on concentration checks that we got back earlier. At Cleric 17, we get Supreme Healing, which is great. Again, a huge buff to us, but still very similar to what we were doing back in 2014. And we get 9th level spells as well. Mass Heal and Power Word Heal make the most sense there. And then we get Cleric 18. Nothing. There's nothing at Cleric 18. Just a fun little break, I guess. Cleric 19, we get an Epic Boon. These are a little more general, and I'm sure that there can be a case made for several of these. So pick your favorite on the Epic Boon there. And finally, Greater Divine Intervention at level 20. If you get that far, congratulations, you get to use a really cool feature. So what do we think of the Life Cleric build? This is pretty basic, right? I don't think that I'm breaking any kind of crazy new ground on this, but still, it's a nice thing to have in the party, right? It's not necessarily exciting, but man, it is really good insurance if you run into something that maybe you couldn't handle. Really, really good stuff there. Let's talk some honorable mentions though before we go. And for other species, racial, whatever options you want to go with, I'm going to go with Dwarf as my top option actually. Dwarf is really cool, giving us extra HP, keeping us alive a little bit longer. I think that's great. It gives us a resistance to poison, which is a little less common in most times, but maybe there's a campaign where you will run into that and you'll feel really good, but still, it's not a bad option there. Human, of course, is going to be my next one. Human is going to work on anything, but being able to wake up and have heroic inspiration is really good. Being able to grab an extra feat is really good, so you could have the magic initiate and the healer feats, which is cool. So definitely a good option there. And gnome is going to be another nice one to have that kind of anti-spellcaster defensive feature about us, since we are getting rid of 2 of those mental stats, being intelligence and charisma. For other feats, I'm going to go with Fey Touched as my top option there, giving us a little bit more flexibility in movement, being able to Misty Step around and then get one other spell of our choice, which is really, really good. If we had gone with the Heavy Armor option there at level 1, Heavy Armor Master makes a ton of sense here, being able to reduce damage. It's slightly buffed from what it was. Instead of it being like, 3? It is now our proficiency bonus, so it starts off worse, but it's going to get better over time, which is good. So definitely look into that. And Telekinetic is my last one, just being able to get people out of sticky situations or put enemies into them. Definitely a really good option there. For other multi-classing options, top option is always going to be Druid. This, of course, matches up with our wisdom, and there are a lot of spells that will work for both of these, and so I like that option there a lot. Fighter, of course, makes sense here, although we don't really need it necessarily for the heavy armor proficiency. We would just take it for the Constitution saving throw proficiency, but yeah, definitely a lot less mileage now that the cleric has been modified to be able to get its own heavy armor proficiency. And Ranger being the last one, another wisdom based class there, and there are a lot of nature based things that we can use. Definitely some nice healing options there as well that we can take advantage of. So that is our build for today. I hope you all enjoyed. Next week we are moving on to the Light Cleric for 2024, and I'm looking forward to going from all healing to lighting some people on fire possibly, and it's going to be a ton of fun. Until then, stay safe out there, stay healthy. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.